Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, boys and girls. How we doing? 'Tis Monday. It is Monday. Could be a big week this week. Well, that is if the pre-patch launch event goes well. We'll have to see, won't we? It's already been live, weirdly, occasionally on some phases. I don't know what's been going on. We had a little bit of a look at that a few days ago. It was amusing. I hope people haven't been, abusing it. Not that there's really much you could abuse it for, but, people love to go hunt down something that they shouldn't be doing. It will all be perfect, yes. It will be fine. What I do need to do this morning, like we do most mornings, is relist the decor, see how many sales we made. Now, Sundays are historically pretty good days for decor. So there's the possibility, the option here for an interesting clean out of the mailbox. Let's get the ball rolling. If I can do it quick enough, I can also get a bit of a more accurate number to how much we sell things for, but oh, how's everybody's weekend go though? It's getting mighty chilly over here again now. Weirdly, towards the end of January, it's getting yet colder. It's like -10, -12 degrees or something outside. It's real chilly. And it's getting worse. The world seems to be having, or Northern Hemisphere at least, seems to be having some pretty chilly weather right now. Yeah, today, -14 degrees. -17 degrees tomorrow. Woo! Basically, -15 until, like, deep into February. Oh my. Oh my. We are going to stay indoors. No outside activities other than minuscule amount of dog walks. Hey, that's how we like to start. 43,000 gold. Yes, please. 14,000 gold. 50,000 gold. Even the dogs are excited. 165. Hello. Oh my god, we literally sold half a server's worth of decor. Okay, well, let's hope every realm is as juicy as that. That's 300k right there. We've only done 4 realms. P. Anyway, hang on, these windows are the wrong way around. You're meant to be down there. Which means, whoa, which means you're meant to be up there. TV is off. Sorry, Jack, I know. Yes, the TV is off. I'm a bad human. Bad Manthius. The dogs are also going a little bit wild this morning. I don't know whether it's the shorter walks, because it's so goddamn flipping cold. They're designed for this weather, right? They're designed to... They run around the garden playing in the snow like nothing. They take a snow bath and actively enjoy it. Me, on the other hand, when it's this chilly, like 20 minutes outside is about my limit right now. Oh boy, do we have some add-on and content creator drama for today. The add-on world's gone mad, hasn't it? The add-on world's gone mad. I know there's a bunch of drama knocking about at the moment between... Yeah. How many decor items are you currently in? So far, I'm around 8. Mr. Goldson, I am in the decor market. There's 240 pieces of decor. I'll flip any of them. I'll flip any of them. Neff UI is bye-bye. See, I don't know. People are going to have to fill me in. I heard that there is some drama, but I don't go hunting that stuff out. And so is Quasi the UI maker. See, I've heard these names floating around the last few days, but I don't really know or understand the logistics behind it. I try to keep drama to a minimum, but If it's spicy, it might be worth having a little look at. It's real spicy. Got 2 characters, a druid with herbing and mining. What should my hunter have for maximizing my gold farming potential? If you've only got 2 characters, your herbing mining is a good start. If you enjoy farming and you're trying to make gold that way, some skinning on the hunter. And then probably throw it leatherworking, because you'll take advantage of having leatherworking on a hunter, and it pairs nicely with skinning. But you'll have your hands full with just herbing and mining, honestly, at the beginning of the expansion. I would assume. Straight relist that. Straight relist. Go. Right. It's them done. I sent you a DM, but maybe wait till more join the stream. Oh yeah, I'm not diving into drama the very first thing on a Monday morning. You got to be mad. I haven't even got the caffeine in me yet. Not even caffeinated yet. Doesn't it somewhat revolve around a bunch of plagiarism of some other people's work? Isn't that where the drama stems from? One person claiming somebody else stealing their hard works. I mean, that was just the definition of weak auras, wasn't it? There was always prominent weak aura. Oh, 100k, hello. Oh my god. What's going on with these realms? Randomly selling nothing of vast quantity. Drainic Basin, 22k is the most expensive thing on a list, but just selling a bunch. Yes, please. Oh no, wait, hang on. Before we start doing snipers, I'm getting wildly confused with the routine here. Skipped, no assigned operation. What the trucking hell's going on here? Hello? Was that just a glitchy UI error? Oh, yeah, okay, good. Nice doggies. They in true fashion, they were chilling. They were chilling 20 minutes before I loaded the stream. Now they're all playing, going silly again. Hence your puppies. They've had their snooze after their breakfast and their walk this morning, and apparently they're up playing again. Yeah, they're like, what are you looking at, human? What are you looking at? What are you looking at, human? Crafting orders for decor are still bugged. Only way to get it now is to be your own crafter or go to the auction house. There is huge amounts of stuff that's still bugged on the beta. The concerns are growing with just how much everything is busted. The next couple of beta builds are going to have to be monsters for professions, or we're just going to have to start. We're going to have to start preparing for the reality that the professions might go live completely busted. I don't think we really want that to happen, because that usually puts a real taint on the beginning of the expansion. I don't know how many of you remember, but at the beginning of Dragonflight, there was huge amounts of controversies because there was bugs and exploits all over the place. And for a lot of people, it ruined the entire first season of the professions. Now, obviously, the problem we have these days, more than anything, is that the first season is the season. Like, it's not really much after season one. A lot of people put crafting down. So if they break season one, then some people might even strongly consider just not bothering, which is kind of scary. But at the moment, it's 7 levels of scuffed. All sorts of scuffed. Is your housing shopping list available for use for sniping? Yeah, it's in the Discord. It's in the housing channel in Discord. And they just... Oh, dear God. I'm dying over here. I mean, adding new crafts in Season 2 and Season 3 isn't what I would consider a fix. I would like to hope that that's absolutely, like, the bare minimum they do. I have wanted them to make crafting more seasonal. It's the only thing in the game that's not seasonal now. And I think it is sorely missing a seasonal system. Because as it stands at the moment, those who absolutely... My God, 120k on this realm as well. Draconic nesting bed, 60k. Hello. Sundays are popping for sales. The problem we have right now is that those that absolutely blast professions in Season 1 sit pretty for the rest of the expansion. Or at least they get to capitalize during a period that is, you know, the going's good. If you try and turn up and do any sort of crafting in Season 2, you might as well not bother. Whilst you may be able to catch up to the point where other people are, it's still going to take you enough of Season 2 to be able to do it that the peak will have already gone by the time you get there, because the catch-up system is terrible. So the reality is that doing anything outside, you know, if you try and pick up crafting professions in Season 2, and heaven forbid Season 3, you're mostly wasting your time. I know that sounds kind of harsh, but it's because crafting is one of the final things in the game to be made seasonal. We have Mythic Plus seasons, we have raid seasons, like we have gear crafting seasons and mini resets on gear. You know, it's everything in the game is seasonal now, apart from the crafting system. Which means we inevitably get 1 good season and 2 below average seasons, which is kind of stinky. Adding new recipes to Season 2 and to Season 3 does sort of go to help, but it's still just a band-aid fix, because everybody's already going to have their profession tools and everything ready. It just becomes a race to get those recipes first. Obviously, things like Dracothists have turned up in Season 2 before, but they were like strictly cooldowned to time gate them, and then bugged and then exploited, which ruined that system. Relying on them adding something extra in Season 2 and Season 3 is... Well, let's put it this way. I don't rely on it anymore. Not after the War Within, where they literally didn't add anything at all. And with them not being seasonal, you have to play around that fact, which is what we ended up doing in The War Within, which was that for season 2, we ignored crafting and we went where the money was, which was farming. We farmed Mechanica like our life depended on it. And to be fair, we did really well. Like some 14, 15 million gold in a month or something, farming Mechanica. Very worthwhile. And it gave me the kick in the backside to level up a bunch of alts, which was kind of nice. And then season 3, it was about just waiting for decor. Season 3 was very questionable. So, in other words, I'm kind of mostly looking at crafting in Midnight to be a 1-season blast. Outside of that first season, I will probably drop it like a hot potato and consider doing something else. Which is also why I'm not putting in anywhere near the same amount of time min-maxing and optimizing the shit out of everything. Because I know categorically it's not going to be worth it for more than 8 weeks. Good news for LVUI users, they've just released a working version for 12.0.1. Oh, okay, because they originally said they were thrown in the towel, didn't they? they originally said they were done. What do we got here? 17k. Oh, nothing. Dead Realm. 28k. 95. Oh my god, another realm where we've just sold a whole bunch. Hello. I mean, at this rate, we're going to break our record again today. Our record's 1.4 million in a day. We are definitely on track to beat that. I really need to get rid of this cough. I apologize. It's early morning coffee and then starting to talk a lot. Before starting the stream, other than, you know, some gentle good mornings to the wife, I don't really say anything. I start my stream and then I start talking, and all of a sudden I realise my voice was not ready. It was not prepared. And it's Monday. High pop realms are mostly buy realms, and then low pops, or is it the other way around? Somewhat confused. Well, because I relist, you know, your market price for stuff is always pushed very low on the big servers because there's huge amounts of competition to sell it, which leads to the big servers mostly being realms, yes, where you will end up buying most of your decor from because it's where the cheapest deals are. You then distribute it to the rest of the realms. I do still sell some stuff on the bigger realms, but it's all based on price. But 9 times out of 10, the big realms are too cheap for me to put my stock there, if that makes sense. So yeah, the big realms end up being the places where we buy not all of our decor, but a good percentage of it. And then it's distributed other places. No. How many of these fishing nets have I got? Enough. Only a 500 gold flip on these. Any more than that? How many is on this realm? Cheap. They're too expensive, but we'll buy them just to get a reset on this realm. So those can go in the guild. I bought nearly 5 guild bank tabs worth of decor. Well, managed to find a home for it all the same day, which was nice. Oh my god, I can't seem to get rid of this cough this morning. I really hope that it's not signs of getting ill. Getting ill is the last thing I need right now. Might have to level cooking since it crafts decor as well. The cooking stuff's actually quite good. I've noticed that anything that goes anywhere near a kitchen seems to just do well. Or maybe I'm dying. Yeah, all that. Yeah, maybe I've hit that ripe old age. Solo boy, are you defloofing that tennis ball? I think you are, aren't you? You're going to do yellow poos. Oh. Hello, my name is Tennis Ball, and I have been broken. These dogs are running out of toys at an absolutely rapid rate. Tennis ball looked like something else. Don't know what you mean. Summon on all realms. We take summon on all realms. I see 2 Mantiuses. What does the 24/7 channel do? It plays past VODs 24/7. There's also a bit of a giveaway on it at the moment. As it's new and to get it some initial followers and get it off the ground. Means you can catch a little bit of Manthius action 24 hours a day. That's your jam. For the most part, it's sort of relatively recent VODs, but there's also a sprinkling of some, blast from the past kind of stuff in there as well. $75 stream streak. Go on. That is big. Huge. Thank you, my man. I wish they'd increase the warband storage. Yeah, I caved and bought the final tab a couple of months ago. What was it, 2.5 mil or something? And yeah, it's I still run out of space on the regular. I too do wish that they would bump it, but the question is if they did add more space to it. I mean, if it was 2.5 mil for the last one, how expensive is the next one going to be? That's kind of ridiculous, you know. Any guides for the new midnight professions? Check the YouTube, but they're 3 months old. Didn't really find anything new on other channels. Yeah, myself and most other content creators in a similar area are not really putting much out at the moment because most of us are waiting until we can actually get relatively solidified guides put together. The beta has been around a long time, but has seen very, very few updates to professions. Their development cycle for the professions always baffles me. We get this false sense of security when, like, week 1 of the alpha, like, most of the profession stuff seems to be there, and we're like, oh, they're ahead of the game, they're working on this, and then it's just fucking radio silence for like for like 6 months with like what feels like next to no changes. And then 4 weeks before the expansion actually goes live, we all start panicking that they've kind of forgotten. Like, has anybody checked on the dev that is responsible for professions? Are they alive? It starts to get slightly concerning. And yeah, this has caused myself and probably a bunch of other content creators to kind of be like, well, we can't really do guides until it's until there's something guide worthy. Did Almond Solo just suddenly grow up during the weekend? I see. This is the funny thing, right? I obviously spend 24 hours a day with these dogs, and so I don't really see it. But yeah, people keep commenting that they're growing fast. And they are. I mean, they're basically the same height as Nipsu now. And obviously Nipsu's like 8. So they're the same height, they're just not as long, and they're just not as, like, built out yet. Yeah, they're clearly growing quickly. But no, guides, YouTube content is all, in the works. In the works. For the most part, my extracurricular activities have been scribbling away getting the Goblin Guide to Midnight ready. Because that is something that, as and when changes happen, I can easily go in and edit. Video content is it's once it's made, the only way to like edit it is to just do it again, which is often what I have found to be a frustrating aspect of dealing with the beta content. That it's not that the beta is now not only the finished form for people to test, it's also the full development of it itself, meaning it goes through iterations, it goes through changes, and it doesn't help that radio silence from Blizzard on what they're planning to do or what they're trying to do. We are left in the dark to guess a lot of times. This flipping Moxie, for example, on Profession Tools is one of those where people are just guessing at the moment. The frustration is, though, that people are starting to report on what they see without the prior experience of a development cycle. And I've already started seeing people state things like, oh, yeah, the Profession Tools don't have Moxie. And yeah, they're not wrong. They don't have Moxie now. But pretty much anybody who's seen this before is 99% sure they are to add Moxie. They just haven't yet. But of course, the information is starting to get out there that there's no Moxie on Profession Tools. 123k again! Atomic Recalibrator 70k. Hello. 17k. 50k. Yo, Decor on a Sunday. Decor on a Sunday, man. Another 30k. Think delve pets will ever be worth it? Delve pets? You mean pets that come from delves? I'm confused by the question. If they don't add Moxie to blue and epic tools, the green tools become almost useless. If they don't add Moxie to any of them, everything becomes useless other than the epic ones. Because at that point, there is absolutely zero reason for you to ever put any time, effort, or gold into anything other than the best. Moxie is meant to be the thing that slows you down in order to give you a choice, right? Do you go for the quick, instant gratification of getting like green tools off the auction house to help you whilst leveling and then upgrade them to rare because you have enough Moxie to do so, and then plan to go for epic ones eventually? Or do you funnel all of your Moxie into just one epic, for example, and then slowly chip away at completing it? You know, Moxie is meant to be put on them to give it some sort of choice. Hey, puppies, can we relax a bit now, please? Chill. You're all going to start needing to go out again in a minute. So yeah, they need to do something, and they need to do it quick. Is it better to only post one deck or item per realm? Multiple of an item doesn't seem good. Well, it depends on your inventory. I would doubt that most people have enough inventory to post more than one per realm right now. That's in the EU at least. That's still like 80. Post as many as you think you can sell is the trick. I'm currently only posting one item at a time, but the reality is I don't have anywhere near enough inventory to do any more than one. Maybe one day, but not yet. There are some bits of decor that likely do sell in bunches. The more decorative decor items, you know, your candles and your shelves and chairs, these are things that somebody might come along and buy 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 of at a time. But your bookcases and beds and things are likely a single item purchase at best. I think they're going to add Moxie last minute so people have less time to find a way to game it. But the problem is that doesn't make any difference because we can still. It doesn't take more than 5 minutes to understand. Like, if you know where Moxie comes from and how you get Moxie, you know at what rate you get it, then it's just a simple bit of napkin maths, isn't it? There doesn't seem any point to, like, hold back the information. People who are prepared and ready will go, oh, okay, I need 300 Moxie for each tool. I need 900 Moxie. Well, I get 200 Moxie week 1, and I get, like, 50 Moxie a week from there on, and, you know, simple maths. Like, it's not a big puzzle. When it's the last piece of the puzzle, you go, oh, okay, boom, there it is. Like, it's not really going to be... Holding it back doesn't seem of any value, really. Trying to make it some big secret also doesn't really make sense. Because you could argue they could do that about all aspects of the game, but there's a reason why the beta is the beta, and it's so people can figure shit out and so stuff can get tested, and hopefully the game goes live with as few bugs as possible. I genuinely think one of the reasons why they haven't put Moxie on the profession tools yet is because they haven't quite figured out how to do it in a way that doesn't look dumb. What I mean by this is that you got to remember that Moxie is now not one generic material. You have different Moxie for each different professions. You have jewel crafting Moxie and you have leatherworking Moxie. But when it comes to making the profession tools and accessories, you have to remember that they're often made on a profession that isn't the profession that uses them. So, like engineering and blacksmithing, for example, make most of the tools for most of the other stuff. So let's say Mr. Blacksmith goes and buys a recipe for a jewel crafting tool, but then Mr. Blacksmith gets very confused by the fact this new recipe is asking for jewel crafting Moxie. But he's a blacksmith. He has no way to get jewel crafting Moxie. Now, the smart of us out there realise and understand that Mr. Blacksmith is never meant to make that recipe. He's meant to fulfill work orders. But you can also see how that can be quite confusing to people who pick up a recipe or acquire a recipe or put points into a knowledge tree to unlock a recipe, then only to find that, wait, what's this material that they have absolutely no access to? It's like, you what now? Do they have, yeah, it's just, that's a point of confusion for sure. I mean, even Spark endgame crafted gear with sparks, for example, people can still make. Blacksmiths can still. If you're a cloth wearer and you have blacksmithing, you can still use a spark in blacksmithing and make a piece of plate gear. And you can't equip it, you can't do anything for it. You are kind of stupid for doing it, but it's still a thing. You could still technically, if you wanted to, craft it for no other reason than to get the first time craft bonus. As ludicrous as that sounds, people do, especially at the end of the expansion, do things like that. It just feels remarkably weird that it's so late and they haven't added it. Hey! But we will see. We will see. We'll see how and what happens in the next short few weeks. Because they haven't got any longer than that. If they don't do it in the next few weeks. I'm starting to think the no Moxie tool is part of the profession simplification, but the presence of different rarities makes me still doubt it. Well, the flipping tooltip says it's meant to be used on profession tools and accessories. This is the thing that baffles me. And this is why why it also confuses me when I see other content creators talking about the fact that profession tools are not going to use Moxie. It fucking says it in the tooltip. The tooltip that you've displayed on the screen. It's like, what? That's the thing that's confusing to me. I mean, I can't quote this verbatim off the top of my head, but like the tooltip for Moxie literally says used for the purpose of crafting, profession, tools and accessories, purchasing recipes, and rare materials. That's literally what the tooltip says. Tooltips are copy pasted from previous expansion. True. They probably are. But they've at least been customized in some way, shape, or form at some point because of all the different Moxies for all the different professions. I can't. I still can't believe they'd launched the expansion without having Moxie on the profession tools and accessories. That just seems. That seems completely bananas. At that point, you might as well write off half of the profession system. It completely eliminates there being really any value in putting time or effort into the green or the blue tools, because there'll be no reason for anybody to ever want anything but the purples. It just seems It would be, in my opinion, a incredibly poor decision to not put Moxie on the profession tools. Used for purchasing midnight enchanting recipes, crafting midnight enchanting profession tools and accessories, and for obtaining high quality reagents. There we go. There's the exact quote. Exchange the word enchanting for profession X. So yeah, we'll have to see what the outcome is. I mean, I can fully plan around there not being any Moxie on it, as crazy as I think that would be of a decision. It would mean I would funnel a handful of characters into creating the epic fashion tools and accessories and focus on basically nothing else. Wait, why am I doing the sniper scan before I've even posted? This is clearly Monday morning problems. One Mantheus cannot do 3 things. Talking is taking up 2 of those slots. Have I even posted decor in this realm? I have, yeah. Do I want any more fishing nets? Sure. How many of these are you expecting me to buy? 2. Activate another brain cell? I don't have that many spare. It's a wonderful thought. It's a great suggestion. What is Moxie? It's Artisan's Metal. It's the profession. It's the limited profession currency. Just Midnight's version of Artisan's Metal. Or Artisan's Security, whatever. Same difference. Okay, nothing's happening on these. That's fine. Next realms. One thing I do need to do before we go too far is close that one. Good morning. Can I ask you something? That was your one question. Sorry, you're out of luck. You never need to ask if you can ask a question. just ask. If I don't want to answer it, I won't answer it. But please don't ask to ask a question. It's like announcing an announcement. It triggers me internally, I'm sorry. Oh, now the dog's begging for some water. Right, I got to relist. I'll relist these realms. And then I'm going to have to give this dog some water and clearly take her out for a pee because she's losing her mind. I did all of this an hour before I started stream, but clearly that wasn't enough. Get you listed. Why have I got like no decor on that realm at all? I wonder. Which is the best? Which expansion is the best to farm lumber and create decor for now? Any, honestly. Absolutely any of them. I would spend less time. Alma, relax. 1 minute. I would spend less time doing the War Within content, but literally any of them. Yeah, absolutely any of them. Don't worry yourself too much about best. Spend more time just doing. More time you spend actually gathering the lumber, the better you'll do. The trick to decor, more so than anything else, is treat it a little bit like transmog. Treat it something that isn't going to instantly sell, but the more items you have for sale, the better chance you have of selling something. And that's the best way to deal with decor, which means you probably want to slowly but surely work towards collecting all of the recipes and slowly but surely build up a nice big inventory. Because if you post 3 things, you might not sell any of them, but by the time you're posting 30 things, there's a good chance you'll start selling some of them. Do I really want more beanbag chairs? How many beanbag chairs are you going to try and make me buy? I don't want that many beanbag chairs. What we got here? Rib platters. These do alright. Drake kebabs. 2 of them. Cheeky reset on those. Oh, where's the auctioneer gone? There you are. Right, that's those realms done then. We'll move on to the next in a second. Right, I'm going to have to give this dog some water and maybe take her out. Give me 2 minutes, boys and girls, and I'll be back with you very soon. Alrighty. Right, dogs are watered. They should hopefully be chill now for a little while. Oof. Meanwhile, you can follow his royal ballness on the 24/7 channel. Thanks, Jack. I appreciate that. Thank you. What about materials? Will they skyrocket, for example, Shadowlands one that has no profession buff to create more of them? Speculating on price is always very risky. Why for reference would the Shadowlands one? Why would you believe the Shadowlands anything would skyrocket? If you, once again, I'm confused where the logic comes from. Little bits, 20k on each realm is nice. We take that. I love all these bank characters that have turned up with the name IKEA literally everywhere. That's clearly one of you lot. Clearly one of you lot. I set up custom prices for lumber per your strings. Can I get gathering tracker to show them? You can set it so that what's the add-on? Loot Appraiser can track them because Loot Appraiser can track map prices. I don't know about other add-ons. If you've got an up-to-date version of Loot Appraiser, there's options in there to select map prices and TSM rather than like a market value, because of course there isn't market values because you can't sell them. In the Discord already. Ooh, I explained how to do this to somebody step by step in the Discord a little while back. I can't remember which channel it was though. Somebody over there might be able to link it to you. Don't know if I pinned it. I don't know how many table lamps. Flippy doodars! I don't want that many table lamps. You can jog on. Not having that many table lamps. But the TLDR is yes, you can get some add-ons to track it. Loot Appraiser is the only one I know that can so far, but I don't do that much farming to know of any others. Logic comes from that example. Leystrite ore takes so much in most crafting of decors. There are not as many people farming them anymore. Materials of all, like any old materials that have gone into crafting decor have already seen a significant bump in their overall value. This was happening way before decor even launched. People were speculating what materials would be worth more in the future, and most materials have sort of stabilized again since. I don't think they're going to change much. I think that, you know, the new worth for the material is just what the price is now. Take 100k on that realm though. Yes, we will. 10k on here. You have to remember that with this game nowadays, people are preparing and planning way before the content even comes out. Which means most changes of actually, you know, market changes on prices of stuff have happened before the content even launches. I mean, Decor's been out like 2 months now, something like that. When did it come out? December, early December. It's almost 2 months. It's all pretty much stabilized now. There won't be too much craziness in price happening, I don't think. There's a chance that when Midnight launches, we might see like a wobble. We might see a slight change in demand for stuff when Midnight launches, which can obviously affect prices of things, but the early cash cow of decor has sort of leveled out now. How often do you cancel scan and relist your items per day? Once maximum. I never do a cancel scan more than once. I post my auctions in the morning because they've all expired. I post them for 12 hours. So I post them for 12 hours, which gives me the ability to post them now in the morning. Then in the evening, if I am just chilling at the computer and I'm just, watching other streams or getting a bit of work done on the side, I might do a cancel scan. But that is literally the only time I'll do a cancel scan during the day, and I don't even do that every day. The whole point of me doing it across all 80 realms is so that I don't have to cancel scan. Because, like many of you, I detest it. I do it when it's worth doing, but I don't enjoy doing it. You get PTSD cancel scanning from flipping Shadowlands. How many of these rugs have we got knocking about? 3k a piece, they're cheap enough to just buy them all. This is what I tend to find as well. On odd random realms, people's pricing structure for things is very weird. And I don't mind because I'll take full advantage of it. But people are clearly like picking one item, crafting 10 of it, and then posting it at a humongous discount. And I'm like, sure, I'll just take them all. I'll take them all, put them in the war bank, spread them about. This is why this system works so well. Like, why did somebody undercut the current listing of this rug on this one realm from, what was it? I don't know, like 27,000 gold or something, down to like 3 gold, and then they posted 10 of them. I'll have all 10 for the price of 1. Sure. Why wouldn't I? The fun thing for me is it's really highlighted that the people farming lumber have so little experience in crafting and then selling things that you tend to see and be able to take advantage of others' really poor auction house practices. I mean, it works in their case, right? Somebody just sold 10 rugs to me for like 30k. But I'll go and sell one of those rugs for 20k somewhere else and be quids in. I guess it's because I guess that's what leaves room for all different types of players in the market, doesn't it? But you snipe items and resell on the same realm, isn't it better to move them off and since the next seller might have added items with an unreasonable price that nobody buys on that. Yeah, that's too micro. I don't care. Like I don't think about it in that much detail. If an item can be listed above my minimum price, it gets listed. If somebody wants to come in and undercut it, they come in and undercut it. You got to remember, this is the advantage of spreading your stock out and selling it on a wide variety of realms. The reason you do that is so that you don't have to care about all of these other little annoyances. If somebody undercuts you on one realm, you don't care because you got that same thing listed on up to 80 other realms. Couldn't care less if somebody undercuts me. I really couldn't. This is why I don't ever plan to sell all and every piece of decor. Not bothered. You scale up so that you can stop caring about the little annoying things. You set your TSM correctly in the first place. If the items post, they post. And if they sell, they sell. And if they get undercut, they get undercut. That means that person who undercuts gets the sale before I do, but mine will still be in the queue. There's a very strong belief within most people who put things on the auction house. A huge, very strong belief in that you have to be the cheapest and you have to be the first in the queue to sell anything. Nah, totally not true. Totally not true. There's a concept called overcutting, which you'd be amazed how often it works. It's just not very easy to like set up in things like TSM. Overcutting is deliberately pricing something. Let's say there's one thing on the auction house. This is very hypothetical, right? But let's say there's one thing on the auction house for 10,000 gold. And you would also like to sell that one thing for 10,000 gold. You can do one of two things. You can try and post yours at 10,000 gold as well, and then they cancel theirs off, and you cancel yours off, and you play this game of chase between each other, just constantly cancel scanning against each other, wasting a huge amount of your own time. You can post yours at 5,000 gold and hope that they buy yours, and then you've sold yours, in fairness, at a discount. You've sold yours, but you can go about your day, and then they have two to deal with selling. Or the third option that basically nobody ever does, but it works just as well, is you post yours at 50k. This works especially well if it's on something that isn't so easy to reproduce, e.g. things like transmog. You post yours at 50k. You know you ain't never selling yours at 50k, but what it does is make it look very attractive to somebody else to buy the one at 10k. Or the person who posts theirs at 10k comes along and then relists theirs at 49k because you've posted yours at 50k, and then you can come back in and post it at the right price. Like, there's loads of sneaky shenanigans you can do on the auction house. Overcutting is incredibly powerful of a tool. The best way to reset a market is to trick somebody else into doing it for you, which is basically why overcutting works so very well. Or, you know, somebody comes in and buys that one at 10k, and then the next person that comes along to buy one sees your one at 50k, yours is the only one, so they buy yours at 50k. And all of a sudden you've made shitload more gold than you ever expected to. GG, well played. You really don't have to be the cheapest price on the auction to sell things. It helps, but it's not the only way to move things. It's not the only way to sell things. Snapped up a Tauren suit pot for 2 or 3 gold the other day. Felt bad for a minute. Yeah, that's a bit of a boo-boo on somebody else's part, isn't it? Hey, you lot shush, please. I'll hear myself think. His dogs are going bananas today. I apologise if they're like constantly growling in the background. I don't know how well you can hear it on the microphone. Can I hire you as a life coach? God, no, you do not want me as a life coach. I mean, talk about throwing money down the drain. Too many long dongs. Can't see. It's a long boy party at the auction house today, clearly. Planning to have the best price on a high volume is a fast way to stop flipping within a week. Yeah. Yeah, like flipping is one of those things that it's, you know, you are by nature of flipping mostly trying to play the long game. So using short game strategy isn't going to get you anywhere very fast. The long game strategy is you will buy stuff when it's cheap and post it at a price that you feel you will still be able to sell it for. And if somebody wants to come along and massively undercut you, then you just let theirs sell first. Sure, like go ahead. Go ahead. You have your low margin sale. I ain't bothered. I'll wait for the good sale, thanks. This is why when flipping, it's never advised you do it unless you already have a huge amount of gold that you don't really need. Because you are mostly playing to only snag the big expensive sales
You're just glad to see me.
when they're kind of like
Both, I hope.
you want the juicy sales. You don't want the 5% margin rubbish. Yo, Purple with a sub. Thank you very much, my man. Appreciate that. Cheeky tier 1 on a Monday. Love that. Thank you. Not hard to be a life coach. Take money, tell them to get a haircut and a job. I think I'd be out of business within a week. Is 10k really a deal on these? I have a sneaky suspicion that TSM's regional sale average isn't updating on a bunch of decor again. But I'll worry about that another day. It's 27 of them. I don't want 27 fence posts. What's it called? Oh, flipping hell. I still have a bunch of these in stock already, but I sell them frequently enough. I've run out of gold on this realm. Oops. $27 fence posts in the guild bank. Anything good on these ones? Miniature sun. I usually buy these a bit cheaper than that. Bit expensive. How many are there? 10 of them. I don't think I want to pay. I don't think I want 10 of them. Right, not too many realms to go. Not too many to go. Fence Posts is my all-time most sold. Is it really? I know it's one of those things that somebody will come along and just buy a bunch of. Now, I still don't post any more than a single one on any place, but it means the one I do post, I have a strong chance of, or I'm confident that it will sell. Time for the drama? Maybe not just yet. Maybe not just yet. The problem with going over any form of, even if it's WoW related drama, is that I'm opinionated. And sometimes the safer play is to not share your opinion. Partly the reason why I stay clear of IRL politics and drama. It's dangerous. Right, any deals here? Green potions. Opinions don't hurt me. Try facts. A fitting song. Yeah, I've just listened to the lyrics myself. Sure, we'll have 7 of those. This is another one of those, right? The likelihood is that I'll buy all 7 of these green potions out. I'll relist one for 15k. If I sell one, it covers the cost of all of the other ones. And then I'll distribute the rest wherever. And it's easy game. Right, nothing there. You're gonna try and ask me to buy 1 billion of these? No, only 2. We can do with only 2. Lumber in Oldham is bugged out. There's nothing there. Small indie company. In Oldham, you're in the right phase. Tis in the old time. People are complaining on the forums. Oh, okay. They added the Draenor lumber into the game, but I think they messed something up as there's like 5 nodes per region in WoD. Oh, Lord. Well, fortunately, it's pre-patch, isn't it? Fortunately, not too much of this really matters. It's amusing and sometimes a little frustrating, but this is why we have pre-patch. Just make sure that you do, report these things. The forums is absolutely the best place to report findings like that because it's realistically the only place the devs, whilst they may not respond, that is their first point of call. Finding these things. So if it's popping off on the forums, the devs are at least aware of it. Try not to get into a heated keyboard warrior argument on the forums, though. It's very easy to happen. I would imagine Oldham could be... Oh, because it's part of Cataclysm. I wonder if Twilight Highlands being a zone for the pre-patch event has caused them to do anything weird with the Cataclysm zones. I don't know. Probably something going on there. see. Artificial sun, 4,000 gold. I knew not buying the ones at 6 was the right decision. Buy them at 4 instead. Ooh, big tables. Hello. Don't sell many of these, but when we do, we can sell them for a big number. Yoink. And a stone wall. Bunch of those on the cheap. Hey, chill, puppies. Hey, stop it. Nipsu. Hey, relax. I got the curtains open today, that's the problem, isn't it? The dogs are like, oh, shit's going on outside. Problem. How are we doing, Chargist? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Happy Mondays and all that. Hope you had a good weekend. Farm it for 6 hours a day. Can't keep everything stocked on the auction house, only posting on one realm. 6 hours a day. You must be doing alright off it then. I feel for people farming for that. I mean, I can't stomach more than an hour, 2 maximum before I start finding my sanity drifting away. I wonder how many of these things we can just put back on. A few of them. I mean, the rate in which you gain lumber is such that if you... I mean, you'd have to farm a significant quantity to ever really run out. Like, the reality is the market still indicates that you are probably likely to be able to sell it faster than you can farm it still, which is the ultimate dream for most farmers, you know. This is why it just baffles me, absolutely baffles me, that so many people are like, nah, I'm done with decor, doesn't sell, you know, fake news. And I'm like, you must be doing something wrong. Must be doing something wrong. I don't know what they're doing wrong, but I farm about that and agree, can't keep up. Yeah, I mean, the even just selling it on one realm, go do an hour or two's farming, craft up a few things, put it on the auction house, come back, rinse and repeat until you have everything for sale. Rinse and repeat to recraft what sells. Like, people that have kind of figured that routine out are just printing gold hand over fist. Decker won't sell, laughs in gold caps. It's I've said this a few times already, but I really do believe that the expansion gold rush is already happening. I genuinely do. There is very few occasions in this game we get presented with a system that is this lucrative. What we got here? Basin for 10k. I have a couple of those. Do I want the third one? Ooh, that's... I could get a flip on those. They're not quite cheap enough. Cheap, but they're not cheap enough. I can spread them around though, can't I? How much is it for all four of... Yeah, sure, let's just have them. Cool. Is it broken? Now, this has definitely taken me over an hour to do, which is a slight problem because it then means I can't use Journalator's last hour's worth of info. But we'll figure it out. Okay. Still getting 300 to 700 per lumber. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Everybody starts doing it. There is more supply than demand, and sales slow down, so people quit doing it. Supply drops, but demand remains, and the consistent sellers just reap the rewards. There was definitely a big spike of interest at the beginning. As soon as people stopped making like 500k a day, they put it down. Yeah. Lord Ruin, there's a name. Welcome in. I try my best to find stuff to flip, but can't craft farm them, so I'm still one token away from being able to buy the expansion with gold. I had to buy 2 additional copies of Midnight yesterday. I spotted the tokens going cheap enough. They were still 400k. They were cheap enough. I still need to decide whether it is of value to... Oh, hello, another 60k, 70k. Whether it's of value to bump 5 copies of Epic Edition for 3 days worth of blasting on 5 accounts. The fact that I know categorically I'm not going to do anything stupid like 5-man multi-box herbs and ore does make me question whether the extra gold for Epic Edition on the 5 accounts is really worth spending. But I can't make that decision. Tokens were 515 this morning. Yo, what now? That's outrageous. Well, I'm glad I picked up a bunch at 400 yesterday then. Christ. The tokens yo-yoing so hard at the moment. I don't know why. Some lumber's better because their recipes is better, but most of them are good if you have the time to farm lumber. Yeah, the mats that go into making the decor for some of them are a bit spicy, but in theory, if you're crafting, you just pass that cost on, don't you? That's the point, right? You have to farm the lumber because you have to farm the lumber, but the cost of any of the other mats, you just pass that on. Like, it shouldn't really be an issue. But it does mean that the way that we calculate lumber value is slightly swayed by that. But yeah, it's not by much. Oh, I'm not having all of those. You can get out of here. Not baiting me into buying 42 fence posts. You have sniper guides on there. Can't be asked to figure it out on my own. Not at the moment, no. But the what's on offer for Patreons is we're going into a new expansion, so it's all going to change. My Goblin Guide to Midnight will have some basic info on flipping and sniping and stuff, but heavily detailed guides, like the decor guide is already out there, for example, which has got sniper lists and stuff attached to it, but those heavily detailed guides take time. Can I steal your lumber value calculator, pretty please? It's in the Discord. It's in the housing channel in the Discord. Are you farming the lumber or just flipping? I would say a good 90% is flipping it. There's no way I could stomach doing this much farming. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And it's not because it's, you know, not really good gold. It's just I don't like doing it. It's really as simple as that. Hey up, a bunch of stuff popping up on these ones. What have we got going on here? Right. Black rock weapon rack. Yoink. Eight of them. Flipping nails. They're not that cheap. They run out of gold. Over here, draining basins again. Being baited by too many of these. Or a leather fence. I don't think I have many of these in stock. Who be this? Who be this? Mr. Hickons, how we doing? Welcome in, fella. Good day. Thank you for bringing yourself and your crew. Hope you had a good weekend and a good stream. Welcome in, boys and girls. Oh, they're all gone. Somebody beat me to it. You've caught me at the tail end of relisting all the decor, buying up a few cheap bits and pieces here and there before we actually plan on jumping back into the beta in a minute. If that interests you. You're a multi-billionaire yet, Hickons, by the way. Goblin toolbox in action. Keep forgetting to get that. It's very useful. Very, very useful and highly customizable. Woo's done a really good job. Nope, only one and barely over. Oh no, only 1 billion gold. Boo. Only 1 billion. Yes. Boys and girls, if you want to go and see what a real wealthy goblin looks like, you should go check out Hickons' stream. From time to time, he's doing things at a scale that most people can only dream of. Ooh, another 70k. Yoink. We're starting to get to some of the bigger realms. These bigger realms I tend not to have too much for sale on because they tend to be overly cheap. Which means they're good places to buy stuff from. Not necessarily places where I'm going to proactively sell a lot. It's just the odd thing here and there. Jesus, Jack, you really are throwing it back. Oh, you want a Madtheus twerk emote, do you? Yeah, about that. Reconstructed Mogu lightning drill. 15k a piece. Am I going to get baited into buying like 20 of these? No, 2. I can do 2 of them. I can do 2 of them. We can redistribute those. Make it happen. I do need to do a bit of a refresh on the old emote side of things. There's lots of things I need to do. Oh, hello, what we got here? Noodle dishes. Do I really want 8 of these? Fuck it, YOLO. It's another one of those annoying ones that I don't really want 8 of them. But if I go and sell 1 of them for 20k somewhere else, it's all good. And the fact that we can buy all 8 and get a cheeky reset here anyway. What were the other things on this list? Oh, more flipping fence posts. Christ. Why is everybody selling their fence posts cheap today? I mean, I don't mind, I'll have them, but... God, how many of these stoves? We need a second mod. I'm not always here. But I am. I'm the second mod. Rest in the war bank. You're probably not wrong though for the 24/7 channel. For here, it's fine. Can't handle people like Chris and Wura. Yeah, you know, the real rabble. Yeah. Real rabble. Vase? Is it a vase or is it a vase? Is it a vase? Is it a vase? Oh, I don't want 11. I don't want 11. Or do I? Sod it. Oh, no, I don't want 11. I ain't got any gold. Maestro, how we doing? Welcome in. See, in my head, I always call you Soul. But the problem is there is another prominent content creator called Soul, and that can be confusing. So you're officially Maestro. Welcome in. Good work over on the TSM Discord, by the way. That's a thankless job. Right, was that all of them? I think that was all of them. More of them than I really wanted, but they're cheap. Even the ones at 6 are pretty cheap. This is one of those things that's a stupid thing to do, but sometimes we do stupid things. Okay. Right, that I think is gotta be most of our purchasing. All our purchasing happens at the end because it's all on the big servers. So as much gold as I think we might have made today. We've definitely spent half of it. Come on. Stupid guild bank, so slow. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. Stuck in, no idea how to go to another channel. This is not a hostage situation. Remember you from Sam's channel back in the day? Mr. Samadan. I was also often in Samadan's stream, but for the most part lurking. Oh, hello. 92k. Dalaran display shells for 50k. Yoink. On Kazakh of all realms. Can somebody get the AI bubble out the way? Thank you. Where is Samadan actually? What, you know, smashing out real life as far as I'm aware. He still lurks around from time to time. I just think he fell out of love with retail. It was very clear. I don't know if he still tinkers with classic in any way.
Greetings, traveler. May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
Yeah, but he's not very out there publicly anymore. Who stole me sniper? Right, last realm where we might buy stuff. Then I can have a little bit of a look at how rich we are. Did somebody gift him Factorio? Yeah, that's a good way for somebody to go dark for 5 years. Have you seen this factory building sim? No. Is it any good? 5,000 hours later. Co's full on Factorio. Oh, yeah, I've seen him. He can't put it down, can he? He's got the bug. He's literally got the bug. He clearly seems to be putting all sponsorship deals aside because he's playing Factorio. It's funny. The Factorio bug. When it gets you, it gets you. Bit of a beast. These bookshelves can shift. Oh, I don't want that many of them. Oh, I don't want that many of them. Yeah, you'd have much better chance getting off hard drugs than you would putting Factorio down once you get the bug. Almost impossible. Right, I think we're gonna call it there for actually buying shit. I don't want to spend all my profits. We've accidentally bought 2 guild banks worth of 2 guild bank tabs worth of decor, which I'll have to spend a bit of time redistributing. Oh. There we go. Right. Okay, right. Shall we run some numbers? It's going to be a little bit difficult because I can't easily see. It's taken me longer than an hour to do this. Way longer than an hour. So this isn't the full story. But I worry that if I go... Yeah. If I do one day, it's going to show half of yesterday's purchases. Where's the cut-off point? You can't assign a manual cut-off point. It's a bit annoying. Yeah, this is the cut-off point. It's taken me nearly 2 hours to do this, but I've been buying a bunch of stuff as well. There's no... Okay, it's not very easy for me to ignore yesterday's stuff, although there's not much there. So actually, believe it or not, that's probably pretty accurate. 800k is probably pretty accurate for that realm, or that server. $900k on this account. Only 155,000 on this account. Oh no, that's last hour. Please hold. 341. I will double check that these numbers aren't massively broken. Yep, that is actually legit. There is nothing in there other than what we've picked out of the mailbox today. Yep, same here. Okay, we've absolutely smashed our record. Holy. Told you Sunday's a good day for decor sales. 873,860 plus 341,957 plus 915,386 plus 208,109. Ooh, spicy. Spicy. Oh. Right. That'll do. That'll do. Yeah, there's no money in decor, by the way, people. Don't bother. No gold in decor. Now, in fairness, that's all flipping. Or for the most part, it's flipping, so it's not all profit. But my profit margins are probably between 30 and 50%. So there's plenty of profit in that. Well, that covers the cost of one copy of Midnight, I suppose, doesn't it? Time to do it all again tomorrow. I wonder what last week was then, considering last week was... We saw a bit of a bump last week in general, because last week contained pre-patch, and pre-patch definitely felt like it brought more juice with it. What's that? 3.3 plus 2, 3, 4, 5 and a bit, 6, 7, 8, a little under 8 million. Probably an average. Oh, hang on, we've got to do the exact average now. Did we actually do more than 1 million gold a day there? 3,347 plus 1,860 plus 1,771 plus 958. Yeah, we broke 1 million a day. Broke 1 million and 1 million a day average, which is cool across the week. To do that across the whole week is kind of nice. Yeah, no gold in decor though, boys and girls. No gold in decor. Don't bother. Put it down. Cool. Do the same again tomorrow. Same again tomorrow. We want the drama. I think Jack is desperate for me to look at this drama. There is only one person so far that has said they want the drama. I don't think people do want drama. What am I meant, like, I need backstory or something. Start with Neff UI. Tettle's video is pretty good, I think. Right, so what's this then? Rock has decided to stop development for Neff UI. It was fun and I think the add-on turned out decent. Annoyed at the slander and getting kinda bored with this. I recommend swapping to ElvUI and any CDM add-on. ArcUI is pretty cool. Centered cooldown manager is simple and nice for centered horizontal stuff. Better cooldown manager from Unhalted is nice but missing some core features. If you don't want to use ElvUI, use Unhalted unit frames. P.S. If you support Quasi UI, fuck you. Right, sure. Add-on is all stolen code from an assortment of add-ons like Neff UI, ironic I know, Unhalted unit frames, basic minimap, CDM, tweaks UI. Almost every feature is stolen code and he's charging people for it. And they eat it up because why? I don't know. 90% of new add-ons that have popped up are coded with AI because AI is very good at developing Lua because it's retarded simple language anybody can pick up within 15 minutes if you know how to read. If you don't like AI because of whatever reason, your future in life is going to be miserable and I pray for your champion. Pray for you, champion. We hit 150k downloads. and that was pretty fun. GG. Right? Sure. Sure. Annoyed at the slander and getting bored with this. And so then finishes that same post with, without proof, a whole bunch of slander. Sure. It's a good way to start. It's a cracking way to start. For reference, I know very little about these add-ons. So, as far as I'm concerned, for reference, who is Quasi? I'm going to have to watch the Tettles video or something on this, aren't I? If you guys want my take on it. My response from Quasi, my response to the LVI accusations. Seeing the accusations from Lucky One and the LVI camp, I'm happy for this to be reposted on social media, Reddit, wherever. Well, yes, you post it. Yeah, sure. QUI was there before LVI. QUI was available for midnight beta before LVI even announced intentions for 12.0. I was shipping builds daily, nearly 90 consecutive days without missing a single build, providing real-time tech support 10 plus hours on patch day, blah, blah, blah. Copying code. Who owns the rights to put sugar in canned drinks? Question mark. There are only so many ways to skin a panel in WoW. Pixel perfect scaling is a mathematical technique. You multiply by screen scale to get a crisp 1-to-1 pixel rendering. Should I deliberately make my UI blurry to avoid using basic math? Right. Paywalling? Let's actually talk about this. Since we're drawing ethical lines, let's examine the entire add-on ecosystem relationship with Blizzard's 2009 policy. Add-ons must be distributed free of charge. Developers may not create premium versions of add-ons with additional for-pay features. Charge money to download an add-on, charge for services related to the add-on, or otherwise acquire some form of monetary compensation to download or access an add-on. Then goes on to state, Liquid Raid Week Aura packs, gated behind Patreon. Your favorite streamers' Week Aura and UI packs also gated behind Patreon, Twitch subs, with WAG.io facilitating the gating of these features behind a paywall. Zygor guides behind a monthly subscription. Rested XP, pay for premium guides. Trade Skill Master, premium tiers for analytics and access. The workaround technically of my add-on is free, but my export string is paid, is against the... Okay. Sure. I mean, I don't have much opinions on this, because this is clearly just people screaming and shouting at each other for no apparent reason. My final stance... I have family to feed. The time commitment to build something good and provide real-time support during chaotic patch days is massive. No one is forcing anybody to subscribe to anything. It's the internet. Everybody has free will. If Blizzard decides to enforce the 2009 policy and bans all of us, Zygor, TSM, Foji, Liquid Week Aura's Rested Experience, the streamers selling UI packs, and yes, me, I will wholeheartedly and graciously accept their decision. I'll move on with my life and leave the WoW scene and do something else. WoW has treated me well until the UI nuking situation. That's the direction they're going. I'm happy to step away from the scene completely and never look back. People love a big drama bait, don't they? People love a big, set of chaos. It all seems mighty pointless to me. Genuinely, it all seems mighty pointless. The argument on paid add-ons is unfortunately a very loose one. It is unfortunately very, very loose. I have for years said that add-ons is a completely thankless task that so many people clearly take for granted. So much so that people start to feel like, you know, people forget that people are making these add-ons literally for free. And so I have absolutely no surprise when people try to side skirt the very loose rules on it and charge for an add-on. I mean, I can't exactly say that my hands are completely blood-free on this. I, for years, have put my TSM groups and operations behind a Patreon paywall. My Goblin guide to the War Within, my Goblin guide to Midnight, I put as a perk to my Patreons. Sure, they're not add-ons, but you know, it's that there are import strings and profiles and stuff to add-ons in those. Like, you know, I'm probably not the right person to ask about this, but yeah, it all seems kind of a bit soft and pointless, really. I don't know what to say. Wake me up when the real drama starts. It takes time to develop add-ons, so they want some monetary compensation. Also, add-ons should be free. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's a challenging one, and so hence why, you know, content creators do what content creators do, which is sit and entertain and provide value for people, for the most part, entirely for free. If they choose to take a few things and put it behind a pledge compensation system, then sure, each to their own. It's a value proposition, isn't it? I like to make sure that I don't even openly push or promote bits or subs or anything on the channels particularly heavily. That's because I use Patreon. I'm like, if I'm going to, I'll offer you some value here for free. And then if you want to support me more, there's Patreon. And I also try and make sure that if you do support on Patreon, there is an extra level of incentive with some guides for the game and some import codes here and there and that sort of stuff. If you're making add-ons, it's just a little bit more difficult because Blizzard comes out and has a line saying you can't sell an add-on. But yeah, lots of add-ons out there do hop through the loophole, I guess. Zygor is an add-on that has literally existed. I think it has existed since vanilla. Somebody will correct me on that. If not, vanilla TBC. Zygor's been around literally forever. You can all have access to the Zygor add-on in-game for free. The add-on is free, but, you know, the actual data, the guides for most of the guides is then what you pay your Zygor subscription for. So that's kind of a loophole in a way. TSM does the same. The TSM add-on is entirely free to use, but they have their website where there's more analytics and better sort of grouping and imports and that sort of stuff. But like, I don't know. Same feeling as you. Looks like a shit show of people dissing each other and seeing the attention go up just makes them go on. Yeah, like this is drama. This is why I tend to ignore most of it, right? It's just drama bait. Like, you work hard for so long, see no financial gain, and then all of a sudden somebody comes along with more reach than you and uses AI to vibe code your code and make it better, then monetize it, you'd probably be upset too. Made it better, added value to it. Is the key aspect of that for me, really. I don't object very heavily to the AI argument. I know most AI is built and designed and programmed off the back of other people's hard work. But it's still there is still the concept that has to be understood is that if you add value to something and then choose to paywall it, that is up to you. If somebody sees enough added value in what you've done and chooses to give you some money for doing it, this is one of those where people get sort of kind of Weak Auras was plagued with this for years, by the way. I don't know how much you realise, but Weak Auras was absolutely plagued with this. Some of the biggest Weak Aura creators were very frequently seeing their Weak Auras just being copy-pasted into a Weak Aura bundle. It was happening literally all over the place. I don't care much about it overall. I lean towards add-ons probably should be free, but I'm also happy to pay for things that I could do myself but can't be asked, such as importing pre-setups, so overall not bothered. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? I think the guy didn't realize his code was open source. Yeah, licensing on this stuff is difficult. I know when you go on to like CurseForge, I've never uploaded an add-on on CurseForge, but I'm relatively aware that different add-ons can have different license agreements. I don't even know where that information is anymore, but I'm pretty sure different add-ons have different license agreements, and some allow more access to them than others. Hence why when an add-on, stops being updated, somebody comes along and they just create a copy of it, give it a different name, and then re-release it. And in most cases, that's not them doing anything wrong. I don't know too much about this, though. It doesn't actually look that via CurseForge you can easily see that information anymore. Maybe you can on their website. CurseForge. Can you on their actual website see the different licensings for the different add-ons? Yeah, you can see the licensing options here, look. All rights reserved unless otherwise explicitly stated on details. In essence meaning hands off, go away. But I bet you can find other ones where, yeah, see, there we go. General public license, slightly different license, gives you a little bit more flexibility and a little bit more of an outline of what you can do with this. Some will be like fully open source. So there's, there's legal frameworks for everything, yeah. If there's a legal framework to say that code is yours and then use the same framework to act on legally, I don't see the point poisoning the whole discussion with drama, knowing how the internet and fan bases works. Yeah, it's like I said, for the most part, this is why I avoid drama, because I actually just don't care. It's all a bit meh, whatever. Yeah, I'm sure all creators involved, I'm sure all people involved have had a fantastic day on social media, and good on them. They probably won't have another good day on social media though. Like, just yeah, I'm not bothered. Let's go jump on the beta. Let's go jump on the beta. Does anybody have a preference on add-on that we can just like blast through and figure out? Add-on. You've got me. You've tainted my brain. Profession was the word I was looking for. And I promise we won't do jewel crafting again. Promise we won't do jewel crafting. Tailoring's a good one, actually. I might look at tailoring just simply because tailoring's going to feel different, because tailoring has just a monstrous amount of knowledge points needed to min-max some things, which would not be a terrible idea to look at in a bit more detail. What was tailoring's leveling like? Tailoring's leveling broken. Here's my leveling guides. The tailoring leveling looked relatively sensible. Craft a few things, craft a few more things, a few more things, mostly focusing on crafting the cloth stuff until you get to 60, where then you've got a few options. So the leveling path, I would actually go as far as to say that's probably launch ready. What about the rest of tailoring then? Should we spin up a new tailor and just have a little look? Let's have a little look. Fishing stream when? Oh, relax. Lord have mercy. When we're trying to sell in multi-realms, should we add all realms in the TSM app? No, God, no. When you're selling things across multiple realms, you don't care about the local prices. Or, well, let me put it this way, I don't. You are mostly going to be buying things based on a regional price, and you'll resell things based on that same regional price. There's no need for the local pricing data. DB market price is completely useless these days. Three-day early accessing for fishing. I can't possibly think of anything. Interestingly, actually, on a side note, there's an add-on out there that some of you have probably used. The add-on dev got in contact with me a few days ago. Angler, I think it's called. It's meant to be, well, I haven't looked at it in great detail. Oh my god, trinkets. Yes, trinkets. Trinkets.
Power. Great power.
Stop!
Power in trinkets.
Sorry. Sorry. Oh, I was going to do it again.
Trinkets, yeah.
Muted it for you. Flipping hell's bells. Disable all. Sorry. Every flipping time. TSM Premium feels bad after that statement. No, not DB Recent, DB Market. DB Recent's one of the only useful price sources. For anything region-wide, anyway. Make that a new sub-sound? Can you imagine?
Looking for something special?
We're going to need some tailoring goodies. Big old bag of tailoring stuff. Boink.
May the eternal sun shine upon thee.
We got in here then. Bright linen bolts, floss, thread, weave, shards.
The winds guide you.
DB Recent is good for like when there is no regional sale average data, e.g. an expansion launch. Yeah, well, DB Recent is just quick and up-to-date information. DB Market and most other regional price sources are averaged over minimum 14 days. So yeah, when everything is brand new, that 14-day average can be quite inaccurate. Yeah, sorry. The fishing add-on, I think it's called Angler. Meant to be a pretty all-in-one fishing add-on, which I have been informed is definitely being updated for midnight. Which, for those of you who are fishing fanatics, might be worth paying attention to. I've not looked at it personally, but I'm sure when we do some fishing, it'll be worth having a look at. Right, okay, let me get my bearings again with tailoring. I remember that making these bright linen bolts, even at max quality, ends up being quite a challenge. Spec points and skill-wise, you have to put flipping points everywhere, don't you? You need to put points literally everywhere to be able to max a build, which also simultaneously means players are going to have to level their tailoring quite quickly. Actually, before I get too deep into this, quick bathroom break. Then we can sit down and have a proper look at this for an hour or so. Back in 2. Alrighty. Let's have a proper look at this then, shall we? Let's have a look at this then, shall we? What we got here? DB, so region sale average is based off 14 days DB recent. DB mark. You got to remember, be careful with the names of these. DB market is a 14-day average on the local server. DB region market is the same 14-day average across the region. DB recent is a 1-hour snapshot. Basically doing the same maths as what DB market does, but just for the one last hour, just purely off the last snapshot it's taken. Apparently AI told me yesterday it's wrong because I thought that, well, yeah, your AIs are probably not going to know this sort of stuff, are they? Like, they lie confidently, frequently. Right, let's have a little look at this then. It would be interesting to see where the concentration build focus for tailoring is. Because tailoring, at least for the first for the first couple of weeks, tailoring might look quite good for concentration, but it might fall off really quickly. Because of just how many knowledge points are needed to min-max things. If bolts, and in turn the Arcano Weave bolts and the Sunfire Silk bolts end up needing like 200 plus knowledge points, there'll be good value in concentration in the first couple of weeks, but soon as people do start getting those knowledge point caps, the value of concentration will fall off real quick. It also means that these bolts, for example, are going to be significantly more challenging for concentration purposes, because the concept of concentration is that you get the recipe quickly and you just bang it out. You're not really trying to spend lots of time or effort gaining huge amounts of knowledge points over a bunch of weeks, unless you absolutely really have to, and it's super duper mega lucrative to do. When you consider what else you have, when you consider what needs to be done with like jewel crafting or alchemy or enchanting, where you can get those professions up and running in 5 minutes flat, you're not going to be too excited about 4 weeks worth of setup on a concentration alt for tailoring. So we've got to be careful with that a little bit, I think. The other things that I saw that might have some concentration value is the spell thread things. Just by the fact that they do use a bunch more materials this time. But there's the inherent problem that this is a raw material. So you've got no ability to really flex on the price there. The price difference between normal and high quality Arcano Weave will just be whatever the difference is. At least it uses 12 of them, so if there is a price difference, it's a nice multiplier. Same with the shards. The price just will be what the price difference is. Now, we already know with disenchanting that there is nearly a 50-50 split of normal to high quality once you're spec'd into disenchanting. So that doesn't fill me with a huge amount of confidence that there's going to be a big price difference between these. Now, there will still be lots of demand for normal quality from enchanting concentration alts, and there will in turn also be lots of demand from the high quality, like people mass crafting them should it be profitable. So there will still be a price difference, but it just might not be very big. And the multiplier is only 6. So it really comes down to the Arcano Weave bolts here, to be honest. Because these are on cooldown for starters, and if these take huge amounts of knowledge points to guarantee at high quality, it means the high quality ones will only exist with concentration in the first place. So the value here could be quite good at the beginning, at least the first couple of weeks. And that same pattern is the same with the Sunfire variant of it. It's the same but different. But once again, it means the path for concentration is very, very hyper-focused onto 1 or 2 recipes in tailoring. Either these spell threads... Now, what do they do? Intellect by 32, mana by 3%. Intellect by 32, stamina by 70. Okay, so it's the Sunfire one that will be the most used, I would imagine. This is your generic DP, your intellect class, and then you have your maybe healer one. But do even healers care about mana these days? I don't even know. Maybe they do. I see Taylor work table want to puke. Yeah. I keep thinking, is this what I sounded like 2 to 3 years ago when it first blew up? Seeing normal people get excited by it now and start telling you to ask it everything. At the same time, my trust in AI answers has never been lower. Yeah, I am so heavily aware that AI will just confidently lie to you. Profession stuff. Tailors are responsible for quite a selection of profession gear. Alchemy, accessory, enchanting, accessory, fishing, hat, herbalism, accessory. They make their own accessory. And, okay, so it's all tailoring. Yeah, tailoring is all accessories. They don't make any of the tools for anybody, which puts them one step below professions such as blacksmithing, jewel crafting, engineering, because they're the professions that make the tools, which are often considered the most important because they have more stats on them and you can enchant them, and more importantly, you can tell it what stat you want. That's the big thing. So tailoring's not going to be a big. I mean, they'll play their part, but they're not going to be huge on profession gear or accessories. Yeah, this is a difficult one because tailoring. When you look at it, when you look at the bolts, for example, the bolts do go into more things now, which in turn will create more demand for the bolts because they go further. But is there really much of a greater increase in demand for the high quality stuff? Or is it just a greater demand for the normal ones? Which will be able to be churned out almost instantly. Still goes into endgame gear. Same as it always has. Does go into a few of the profession bits and bobs. As we've already established, these are not S tier, they're like A tier. They're a step behind. Even the healers go stamina. Is it just the simple logic of that you can control your mana, but, you know, a dead healer's not doing any healing? Spell threads is obviously going to be the #1 cause of demand for the high quality ones, isn't it? Because nobody's going to want to bother putting one of these on unless it's high quality, which means you're going to either need tailors to mass produce them at high quality. If tailors are mass producing them at high quality, that causes great demand for the high quality bolts because there's no choice in the matter. Or the low quality ones get churned into high quality ones with concentration. Bags, you never use high quality ones, it's just low quality ones, but it is a steady demand for the low quality stuff. That's really a no change situation. The big addition is decor, isn't it? But of course, decor is once again not really a high end demand because you don't use high quality maps on decor because decor doesn't have quality. This is just another consumer of the normal quality stuff. So actually, whilst is there much outside of tailoring that uses these bolts? Probably check. What was it called? Arcano Weave bolt. How much outside of tailoring uses these? Looked at the tailoring stuff. Enchanting. Okay. Some bolts go into an enchant. That's good news. Bolts going into enchants is good news. That's another consumer of the high quality bolts. for the purpose of mass crafting at least, or yet another source of low quality bolts if these are concentration crafted. But that's it. Okay. So I would go as far as to say the actual demand for the high quality bolts isn't really that different from the War Within. Because at high quality, we can assume that the cloth gear is going to demand roughly the same as what it did in the War Within. And in turn have a similar price on the cost of the high quality bolts. Bags are bags, they use low quality stuff. Spell threads are a better candidate for concentration this time, which will actually mean that the vast majority of them at high quality will be made by concentration, meaning there's actually a downtick in demand for the bolts there at high quality. Ooh. Okay. I'm not convinced tailoring's going to actually be much more profitable than it has been in the War Within. It's easy to get distracted by the fact that these bolts are used in so many more places. But when you actually break it down and realise that none of those extra places really care that much about high quality bolts, meaning there is less need to push particularly, normal quality bolts will do the job nicely. What does the scenario look like to make Arcano Weave bolts at normal quality, but just in optimal way? That's probably the path. What I'm getting at here is if it takes 1 million knowledge points to get these to guaranteed, you're probably just not going to bother. Right. If we bear that in mind, we will level the profession up a bit, unlock some stuff, and see where our knowledge points then goes.
Walk with the earth, mother.
Give me a knowledge point book. Tailoring. Probably take not the brain. We might need a pentagold.
We shall meet again.
How many slots does the new bags have? They usually just bump it by 2. I haven't actually looked. It's usually just 2 extra than what we're used to. A delve mat's going to have any value going forward, maybe for crafted mogs, toys, pets, mounts, etc. I don't know. I mean, delve mats at the moment have ended up being like 1 gold a piece, haven't they? So buy a stack and put it in a guild bank and see what happens in a year's time. I haven't looked into it in much detail though. I've been vendoring them. I think a lot of people probably will have been. Okay, this isn't going to go away until we assign it some talents. Let's get rid of that.
What brings you here?
Right, so let's assume that we want to make a tailor and we want to make one that focuses on the bolt cooldowns, as that, in theory, given the right opportunity, is a nice log in every few days, craft a few bolts, GG. You're still going to probably want to level the profession a bunch. So where are we going here then? But 1 to 15 we can do bright linen bolts apparently. Good opportunity to double check to see if the leveling path has changed at all. Don't guarantee skill points all the way to 15, or does it go? Probably goes yellow at 15. It does. Now in theory, we could craft a whole bunch more of them. My suggestion to most players is don't bother until you're really good at doing something. You'll be able to buy them off the auction house for probably less than what the sum of their parts is. 5 courtly cloaks. The next 10 points. That'll get us to 25 at least. Boom. That unlocks our first spec tree. Is it going to be one of those? I know we have to put points in all different sorts of places if we want to optimize. But my thoughts is, Bolt Crafter is going to want to unlock the bolt. Where's the crucial things to unlock? Where's the actual like milestone things you really definitely want? Resourcefulness, sub-spec, skill, and less concentration. See, now that's interesting. Like, you don't actually need most of this. You can probably stop at 15 points. Because that's going to give you the resourcefulness, which will help with your crafting cost. It's going to give you the multi-craft, which is going to be useful. Well, you'd stop maybe at 20 points, because you can unlock both of these directions with just 20 points. These final 10 points are not actually super important to begin with, because they only offer you skill, which, like I said, you'll probably hunt down the bonus skill you need last, once you've optimized your crafting cost. Especially when you need a bajillion points, where you spend them and when you spend them becomes a little bit more important. Plus skill, plus resourcefulness. So you want 5 points in here for the resourcefulness. Multicraft, vitally important. Gain 1 multicraft when crafting any tailoring recipe per point in this spec. So you want a full 25 points in here, no questions asked. That one's full, because you just want the multicraft. The bonus node's a bonus. But the multicraft itself is why you're going to want a full 25 points in that anyway. What are we looking at this side of the world? Ingenuity. Ugh, nobody cares. But you do want the multicraft. You do want the resourcefulness. But you can stop there. You only need 10 points over this direction. But are you going to be able to get... Oh, you got to put 25 points in to unlock both of those. Fiber arts, skill when crafting stuff, learning subspecs, sure. Is there any multicraft? Is there any resourcefulness in here? Resourcefulness at 25 points, that's annoying. And then the crafting speed. That won't matter for making bolts, really. Not the cooldown bolts, anyway. A resourcefulness node. Probably an indication that you're going to want the whole thing, aren't you? Yeah, you're going to want the whole thing. Embroidery. This is only when crafting enhancements, so you can probably ignore it. Ignore that entire tree. That node. Fashion genius, ingenuity. Probably ignore this entire tree. Yep, good. We can ignore that one. Creating efficiency. Oh, this is our multi-craft node. Oh, in that case, we want the entire tree. Okay, yeah. Even getting up and running before you start pushing for maximum skill to guarantee, there's a lot of points here. This is a lot of points. Even a medium build concentration alt. When do we... Oh, you unlock it in here somewhere, right? So... Where do we actually learn the bolt craft? Arcano weaving here. No? Yeah, learn how to make Arcano weave bolts. Okay. That means we need 5 points. 5 points. So 25 skill and 5 points gets you access. That gets your foot in the door. 25 points to unlock a spec tree. 5 knowledge points gets you in the door. That will give you the ability within half an hour of picking up the profession, probably less, to start banging out 10 crafts of these. Now, of course, your concentration at that point isn't going to go very far. You'll only get a couple of concentration crafts out of that. And what is interesting is that it doesn't start you off with 10 out of 10 crafts, which is different to what we've seen before. And is actually a much better way of doing it, I think. This means if you are going to go the tailoring route, you want to unlock these recipes ASAP so that you can start working towards additional crafts. You actually have to earn the extra crafts, which is cool, rather than being given all charges by default. So you can't just quickly bang out on a brand new fresh tailor a whole bunch of these. It's a subtle change, but it's an important one for the beginning of the expansion. Moxie cost on tools. Is it make or break in the next patch for beta? Closing in on the release and still no cost of Moxie on the tools. Abundance cost for the item was increased though. I wouldn't say there's anything that's make or break particularly, but yeah, they absolutely better add it quickly. Better add it quickly. You know what I should be doing is probably making some notes on this, otherwise I will absolutely forget. Okay, we are... This is what you then got to consider. Like, you don't really need to do much of anything at the beginning. You're going to have access to... you can build that with just first-time crafts whilst leveling up to 25. This is your entry-level foot in the door. Start making these bolts and using some concentration on them. Can't wait to spend all my points on the wrong nodes again. It's a topic for a video at some point in the next couple of weeks, I think. But there's also, not that I have found, a way to reset your knowledge points again this expansion, which will frustrate many. I know you were kind of joking a little bit, 50-50, but that is going to be a thing again, unfortunately. I went all in on Dark Moon cards at the start. Yeah, that wasn't great. Yeah. Although, to be fair, the actual crafted trinkets, you'd have probably snagged a few work orders all the same. But yeah, probably not great. What did we say for getting 20 points to unlock both of them? So you probably do want your first time craft bonuses. Is that going to be the best place to do it? I'm just thinking about in the first week what knowledge points you have access to. You're looking at about 50 knowledge points baseline. That's treasures, that's rep book. That's, you know, first week's worth of patron orders, so on and so on, plus some first time crafts. It's comfortable, I suppose, to spend about 35 knowledge points, since that's your one-time treasures and that's your rep book. It should be absolutely no problem for any profession. You can spend 20 points unlocking both of your bulk crafting recipes. And at that point, at least you can start gaining charges. That's the critical thing to do. You actually might want to throw those 20 points in. Unlock both of these to start working on. Start the cooldown ticking for the charges. And I'm not sure how much further into these you're going to really need to push. Until you get a significant stack more knowledge points. Well, you're definitely going to want... requires level 50 in Midnight Tailoring to unlock additional specifications. So you've got to get to 50 before you can unlock another tree. Which would be the next tree you'd unlock and why? I think you just go hard into the multi-craft tree at that point. Which is, what, this way? You'd Zerg points in this. Multi-crafting grants 20% additional goods when crafting Midnight Tailoring recipes. Yeah, that's a gimme all of it situation. You want to get to 50 skill. Depends if you're going to farm any cloth. No, for this sort of purpose, you just buy it. This is assuming the dude stands in the city and doesn't move. Your build for farming cloth will be very different. Right, let me make some notes. Let's assume this is basically a bit of a pull-down bolt build. Step 1. Level 2, 25. Unlock... oh, well. Step 2. 20 AP in... What was the node called? You're going to want to put 20 points in nimble needlework. That will unlock both of these. This is to start the cooldown on bolts. Start at 1 out of 10. I like that, you know. That's a real subtle change, but I like that. I like the fact that you don't start with a full stack of 10 to burn, that you have to actually earn. Once you unlock the recipe, then the timer starts. So you're not going to get somebody turn up with, like, you know, somebody will look at the... Somebody looking at the value of, like, bolts decides, oh, I'll just quickly spin up a tailor and make 10 of them out of nowhere. I like that. Skill up to 50. You're going to want at least level 50 next to unlock another spec tree. Which, if I follow my basic leveling path, is a couple of helms. 3 of these. Couple of helms, a couple of robes. That puts me at 35. Couple of shoulders, 5 of these. Gets us to 45. All doing this so far relatively cheaply. And we need to get to at least 50. Bright linen spell threads. From the cheaper option here. And we take those all the way to 60. Actually, taking these to 60 is the play, isn't it? Because that'll unlock the 3rd tree. It'll be easy business to get to 50. That's the last of our that's the last of our vendor recipes. But we can push this to 60, which should give us, if everything's gone to plan, 3 spec trees. Go. And with that, we'll unlock Fabric Specialist, I think. As there is something in here that's useful to us, the otherworldly cloth node is useful to us. Unlock fabric. Fabric Specialist and Fiber Arts. Now the question is where is it most important to spend your points next? I think this being the main multi-craft tree that also gives you the boost to multi-craft yield is where you're going to want to throw your money. Throw your knowledge points at, more so than this one. Gain 1 multi-craft when crafting any midnight tailoring recipe per point. But whilst it gives you multi-craft, its main focus is actually on just giving you more cloth drops. Like I said, we aren't really planning on going anywhere with this character. And we actually only ever need to put 10 points in this node. And no, you will put all 25 because you should get 25 multi-craft points. Multicraft is going to be your best stat by far. But you do want to put 35 points in creative efficiency and fiber arts next. 5 points in here. Oh no, you get a free unlock. Beautiful. You get a free unlock. Yoink. Nothing beats a free unlock. Multicraft per point. Skill and crafting speed. Multicraft when crafting tailoring recipes. 25 points in there will do it for now. You are going to want to be really stingy with your knowledge points in tailoring. Because this last node only gives you plus skill and plus crafting speed. Which you probably don't care about either of those yet. Not for bulk cooldowns anyway. 25 points in creative efficiency. What was the node called? Creative efficiency. $25 points in creative efficiency. How many have we spent so far? 25, 35, 45. So we're still within week 1 limits comfortably. Where did we decide we were going in here? Otherworldly cloth. Because this one is also giving you +1 multicraft point. But we need to put... Oh god, how many points do we need to put in this just to unlock the node? Oh god, you got to put 15 points into a base node just to unlock a sub-spec. Oh god. That hurts. Gives us 10 resourcefulness. High quality cloth can now drop. And learn a sub-spec. Okay, that's too expensive. Okay, in that case, you do just fill this. Because that's 5 extra multicraft straight up. You might as well finish the job. There isn't really a better alternative. So at that point, you're going to be... You've unlocked the 2 bolts. You will have started working towards... Well, you'll have set the timer off. You'll have already got yourself 6% multicraft. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but you'll also probably want to get yourself some green profession tools and accessories. Or depending on what the flipping hell they do with Moxie, you might even be going straight in balls deep with flipping epic gear if it's if there's no Moxie on it, which would be batshit crazy. But anyway, even a quality 5 green profession tool is also going to stack your multicraft up pretty nicely. Now, how much and when are you going to start wanting to put more points in here? You actually are not going to want to put more points in here for quite a while. Unless, like, there's nothing... All of this is, like, concentration that nobody cares about. Random-ass recipes that nobody cares about. Skill, which nobody cares about. That resourcefulness node is useful, but resourcefulness is second rank to multicraft. And it's just a recipe at the end of it. So none of that, nothing in there apart from this node really matters, but doesn't matter that much. Skill when doing Arcano Weave. Gain +1 skill once crossed. Further improve your mastery over Arcano Weave, making additional bolts per day. This is what... Yeah, this drops your cooldown, doesn't it? Gain 30 multicraft when crafting Arcano Weave bolts. That's annoyingly important, isn't it? That's annoyingly important. Shorten the recovery time of crafting Arcano Weave bolts. You got to put 15 points in here to get this. So you're looking at 20, 35 points to get the most bolts with the shortest cooldown and that bonus multicraft. I guess the question is what's more important? That, I tell you what, that 30 multicraft is pretty juicy, isn't it? We've only gained 65 multicraft from these points. But what we have gained is an increase to the yield when multicraft does proc, which is bonkers level overpowered. %20 additional goods, 40% additional goods. Yeah, that's cracked. There's no way you don't take that first. Obviously, you still need your multicraft to proc for it to happen, but when it does happen, that's like Christmas come early, which I think is more important than going in this direction. To get here, you got to put 15 points in here, and you got 15 points to unlock it. So this is actually 30 points to go and get that. And nothing on the way actually benefits you. You got to spend 30 points to get 30 multicraft, and you get more bolts per day. That is probably more valuable than 15 points in here, and then another 15 points in here. Yeah. And you're going to need to do that twice, aren't you? Because you're going to need to go down this way to do it for your Arcano Weave, and you're going to need to go down and do it that way for your Sunfire as well. What we spent? 20, 30, 50 points. So that's your week one spend. Week one guaranteed point spend, basically. You can probably get 80 points in the first week if you're doing like crazy stuff, but you definitely don't want to be doing that on like tailoring alts, which is kind of what this is designed for. You want to be setting up bolt crafters on a bunch of alts. You don't want anything that's too involved. You just want you want it to just you want it to work. And then you log off and you go to the next alt and you do it again. Then you come back once your charges are ready. You got 10 charges. You got, you know, there's a week until you actually have to come back and press buttons on this. Which node gives you the charges, since you can get 30? It's these end ones. Shorten the recovery time after crafting bolts. Further improve your mastery to make additional bolts a day. Yeah, with 50 points spent now, I actually wonder whether the optimal play here is to split this down even more. We put 20 points here, and the only reason we put 20 points here was to unlock both bolts. I think you might actually be smart to split your tailors up even further and have them, you know, rather than just bolt cooldown specialist, Arcano Weave bolt cooldown specialist, and Sunfire bolt cooldown specialist. Because that means you wouldn't have to spend another 15 points up here. You'd only have to spend the first 5. Well, yeah, 5. You've kind of wasted. Not wasted, but you've spent 15 points here that could be way more useful to you somewhere else. Especially in the early weeks when these bolts are not very readily available and you might be wanting to do this across a bunch of alts. Because those 15 points you didn't spend here would go into here, which would learn this node straight away. Even on the beta, there's no way for me to reset this, which is a thing. But yeah, I do think you'd actually probably want to specialize it even further. The reality is at the beginning, you want to be as efficient as humanly possible in crafting the thing you're focused on crafting. That will mean your price is absolutely best in slot compared to others, meaning you'll make the absolute most profit off it, or guarantee you profit at all, which is always difficult at the beginning. This becomes, in my opinion, a no-brainer. One multi-craft proc off this pays for itself. Easily. Which quest bag of materials is the most valuable? I have no clue. We haven't got price date. We don't know what the price of things are going to be. No clue. That's literally a coin flip. I love multi-crafting the cooldown bolts. Yeah. That's definitely the way to go. And I actually think that that is probably, with limited knowledge points in the first week or two, you've got your early access phase where you don't get any weekly stuff anyway. But your early access phase, you'll be able to go out there and get the reputation to get the 10 knowledge point book. You'll then also be able to get your one-time treasures, which is 10-minute job on each alt, but will basically pay for this node. And then you want to just unlock your bolt of choice really damn fast, so the timer starts ticking. Then once you've got the timer ticking, then you can work towards making it tick faster and stack higher. But stacking your multi-craft is your #1 priority before skill. The skill ceiling needed to produce these at top quality, guaranteed, is just ludicrous. So ludicrous that you absolutely don't want to think about it. Not until we're a month or two in. Like, you want to get all of the secondary stats as efficiently as you possibly can at the beginning. That will ensure that you have the best price. So you have to put 15 points in here to unlock the next node, which you'll do. All that has actually got you is a bunch of skill, which is kind of annoying. But it allows you to unlock this, which should... Yeah. That node doubles the amount of available crafts you can stack up, and it has reduced the cooldown of each bolt from 16.8 hours, which is 10 a week, to 12 hours by the looks of things, which is 14 per week. Does unknown professions seem later this expansion than previous, e.g. Moxie? A development on them? That's what you mean. Yes. I don't know how long we wait before we start making "Oi, Blizzard, what the fuck you doing?" kind of videos. Because we should be working towards a release candidate build now, not questioning where huge major parts of the profession are. So I'm not going to panic yet, but it's not going to be long before we'll start making a bit more of a song and dance about the fact that it's all broken. So yeah, that unlocking this node, Arcana Weave Expertise, even if you don't put any points into it, becomes quite useful. Let's put a note about that. Arcana Weave Expertise node. Doubles stored alt out to 20, but more importantly, reduces cooldown per charge to 12 hours from 16.8. So that's actually really useful. That's really useful because it means you can just straight up press the button more often. And I'm going to assume by the time you slam 20 additional 20 points in this, it shortens it down to an even lesser time. But you might not have those 20 points too early to do that. You might be better off. No, it's up to you. Do you play the press the button more frequently game, or do you play the Gamba on Multicraft with less button presses? Considering a single proc of Multicraft could probably far exceed the value of just being able to press the button more often. But pressing the button more often gives you a greater chance of Multicraft, so yeah, 50-50. Slam that into some LLM and do the maths on it. But the reason we unlock Fabric Specialist is because we are going to want to put points into Otherworldly Cloth. Just because it's Multicraft. Is it one... What's it? One Multicraft per point. So there's 25 points of Multicraft. 30 points of Multicraft. Okay, that's literally it. 30 points of Multicraft. Which, on top of 65, will put us to nearly 100, which will put it to about 10% chance of Multicraft before you add some tools on, which you should have done by this point anyway. If you hadn't put the 15 points there, you'd put them there. When you do get them, you put them here. Would you put the next 20 points here? I think you probably would, because you get the 30 Multicraft here. You'd fill this node first, then go there. So this would actually only be 5. Plus 15 is 20. So 40 points in Nimble Needlework. 40 plus 30. That's 70. That seems like a relatively fair week 1 / early access, quickly getting the profession leveled up. Just, 70 points is within reason, I think. 70 knowledge points is going to come from your first-time treasures. Sorry, one-time treasures, which is 24 points. 10 points from the reputation book. So that's 34. Some first-time crafts, which is 40. You are then going to have some patron orders, which you'll be able to chip away at straight away. Hopefully, maybe possibly. That's a little bit more random. 70 points is still going to be quite tough. Especially for like a, an alt character that you're not going to plan on playing that aggressively. You might still have the incentive to log them in every day and check to see if there's any patron orders they can do for their glimmers and flickers. You'll have the weekly quest, which will give you, if memory serves me right, 3 knowledge points.
Ancestors watch.
Plus your scribbly scribble book. Yeah, 70 is going to be a bit of a challenge to get to. but 70 is possible nice and quickly. And then every week thereon, you just stack the points wherever you can get them. But the reality is it doesn't make bolt crafting very alt friendly, because there is still quite a high knowledge point requirement to like just get going, because you want to put points in multi-craft. That's not really like, this is where my build will cause arguments, because some people will say that's not worth it. And I'll tell those people they're wrong. I can see a lot of people that would rather put those 30 points into this tree somewhere. But I don't actually think there's anywhere near the same amount of value putting the 30 points in this tree. And there definitely isn't. 20, 40, yeah, 40, 50, 60, 70 is your get going bolt crafting build. I mean, if you struggle for knowledge points, you can probably, you probably are better putting your 40 points in here, aren't you? 5, 15, 20. If you don't want to do all the flipping logging in and doing patron orders business, you just put 5, 15, and 20. And then as many knowledge points as you get to fill this out as quick as possible. Because benefits from here are actually bananas. 20% additional when multi-craft procs. 20%, 40% additional if multi-craft procs. Now you're only going to be able to press the button twice a day, but you only need one proc and it's GG. Okay, that starts to make a little bit more sense. This needs to be put into more creative terms. Um, 40 KP starting environment. 70 points. Uh, 70 point is the medium build. Should we see what it looks like to fully optimize? Fully optimize. How many knowledge points does it need to fully optimize for pressing these buttons? So you're going to, the only way you can fully optimize is by filling this. So you're going to start then needing the skill. You're going to start, well, no, you will hunt resourcefulness first. Means you need at least that one. What's this giving you plus skill? We will need that eventually. Skill, skill. You will then start stacking the resourcefulness in here, wherever it is. This one, textile utilitarian, but we need to unlock it. Subspec. That's 10 in there. And then this whole tree. Yep. No value in either of these. That's skill for enhancements, multi-craft for enhancements. Nothing in there that's of any benefit. And this is ingenuity that you just don't care about. You don't care about ingenuity. You barely care about ingenuity if resourcefulness is a thing. But because multi-craft is a thing, you absolutely don't care about ingenuity. You want the, what did we say, 10 points in here? 15 points in here to actually unlock this. Gives you the multi-craft. Means you want that whole tree. So to optimize on crafting price, 5. We didn't need the other 15 in here, by the way. Oh no, we did. There's 5 points there. Okay, so we did actually need those. 20, 25, 45, 20, 40, 60, 65, 70, 80, 90, 105, 135, 145, 150, 160, 175 for like the price optimal build. Oh my god. $170 knowledge points just to be price optimal. That's crazy. You ain't going to be doing this on alts. 170 points just to be price optimal. Then, should you wish to actually gain enough skill to craft these at max quality, when using max quality resources as well, let's not forget, you're going to need that tree full. You need this tree full. Where are we at now? 417. You're obviously going to need to fill this. That's another 40. We're missing 80 points there. So we're still 33 points off at that point. Where's the other 33 points come from? You shitting me? Do you have to go down? Surely you don't have to go down this route just to get the skill you need to make these bolts, right? No, that's just when using Sunfire Silk. Have they this is where they've sneakied random skill points in the arse end of nowhere, isn't it? Is it this one? No, this is the multi-craft. Oh, what? Oh, what? There's a sneaky 5 multi-craft in there as well. So that 170 wasn't even the price optimal build. Because you need to go put a bunch of points in here as well. Ah! What do you need for the full? You need, okay, 170, 180. It's what? Oh my god, what? 190 knowledge points to be price optimal. Flipping hell. This is gross. Tailoring is absolutely cracked. 190 knowledge points to be price optimal. You cool down bolts. Then you've got some sneaky skill. Sneaky skill at the end here. Gain 1 skill when crafting any midnight tailoring recipe. Oh, well, there we go. So that's where those other points come from. So we need everything in here. Oh, flipping hell. There's resourcefulness over here as well. But tailoring is absolutely busted. Like, tailoring's tailoring's a chore, man. Tailoring's a chore. You got to put points flipping everywhere. You need that whole flipping tree. Tailoring's a chore. What are we up to? 452 plus the 80 that we're missing because I can't be bothered to actually simulate this. Yeah, there we go. Oh, God. Lord have mercy. So how many knowledge points is that in total? Just to be able to craft these bolts at full bill at full whack. 30, 60, 70, 80. 125, 150 plus 90. 240. Oh God. 240 knowledge points. Min-max. 240 points min-maxed. That's a journey. That's a journey. That is quite the journey. Requiring you to basically, we have been as stingy as humanly possible to save 5 points over here and to save 5 points over here. We've managed to squeeze out 10 points in this tree that we don't need, but we've had to put 90 points in fiber arts. Fortunately, being able to entirely ignore these 2 nodes. Although, obviously, with all the points in here, you can unlock these anyway. They don't do anything that benefits you. And then you have to go full build into this. So what looks to be 30, 60, 70, 80 points actually ends up being 240 points. Gee, that's going to be fun. Tailors are going to enjoy that one. This means... ultimately, this means that until enough time has passed for tailors to gain access to, well, okay, I went price optimal and then min-max. You could harvest skill first and then pick up. In fact, thinking about it, in pushing for the skill you gain, you don't have another choice until people have got until enough time has passed for 240 knowledge points to have been obtained by tailoring. The only quality 3 bolts that are going to exist are going to come from concentration, which 240 knowledge points. Should we do some napkin math on that? 80 points week 1 because it's a big week. And then what do we say? What are we saying knowledge points per week? Like 20 on top of that each week? It's not a lot. It really isn't a lot because you've got, let's say 10 from patron orders. You won't be gaining any catch-up points because you won't be catching up. 10 treasures is 4, 14, 15 with a inscription, 20 by the time you do the weekly quest. Yeah, you're looking at about 20 points a week after your first initial like one-time Zerg. Roughly 20 points a week. When you need 240 points and you get 100 in the first week, that's what, 6 weeks? 7 weeks, 8 weeks. 8 weeks after the launch of the expansion, you might start seeing bolts be able to be mass produced on a cooldown still. I think it's relatively safe to say that high quality Arcano Weave bolts could be quite pricey when there is probably 2 months. 2 months, which means we will be deep into the first season or anybody's able to mass produce them. Damn. Damn. The interesting thing is as well, people are going to, yes, want to put a bunch of these in parallel. To boost the amount of bolts that you can physically obtain. And I do think this is the best, probably going to end up being the best use of your concentration on tailoring for that 8-week period as well. For those first couple of months of it'll drop off hard, mind. it will be an early expansion Zerg. The money will be good, I think, initially, but it will drop off real hard. You'll want to run at least 2 Tailors in parallel. One to go Sunfire, one to go Arcano Weave. And eventually, when you've already put 240 knowledge points in, your next 50 can go into this to basically give you the exact same, but for the Sunfire Silk at the same time. You'll have some ability to craft Sunfire Silk whilst you do this, but it won't be as lucrative. You won't be able to press the button as often, and you won't be able to stock up as many of them. Damn. Jesus. Between 240 and 300 knowledge points just to go for the Bolt cooldown build. A build that could take 8 weeks to finish. That, I think, is the most expensive build in the game so far. So, if we look again at what the bolts actually go into, knowing that it's going to take 8 weeks before there's a real steady supply of them, the only high quality bolts are going to come from concentration, which will mean they'll have a bit of a premium attached to them all the same. If you need cloth gear crafted, your first spark or 2 is a piece of cloth gear. I mean, I'm not going to go out there and say it's going to be like blacksmithing, flipping, what was the box thing called? Like tinder. I don't think it's going to be tinderbox blacksmithing level expensive, but cloth gear is going to be pretty pricey season 1. And it might in turn mean that these high quality Arcano Weave spell threads end up being expensive as well. The spell threads are going to be spicy. But yeah, purely by the fact that it's going to take Tailors so goddamn long to guarantee those is why I think that's a good early season build. That's quite fun, you know. Question is how many Tailors do I want to spin up in that direction? I'm planning on having 5 Tailors, but I haven't quite decided exactly what they're all going to do yet. There's part of me that will probably let's say if we got 5 Tailors to play with. Let's say one of each for the bolts, 400 plus. One of each for the bolts. One of each for the bolts. A third one probably actually hardcore, not on the cooldown bolts, but on the bolts. Which might actually end up being a very, very similar build in thinking about it. One purely for the bolts and the imbued bolts. Yeah, it actually kind of looks like they might actually all be the same build. Then I will probably have a Tailor that goes into grabbing profession accessories, doing all of that business. That's still a little bit up in the air because, of course, Enchanters hats, epic Enchanters hats, they're going to be spicy. Tailors hats, spicy. Tailors make their own chest piece. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to min-max spell threads on any character. Mostly because I'm not convinced I want to spend this much time focused on tailoring. I think the knowledge point requirements are just a little bit too high. But we'll see. Right, boys and girls, I'm going to leave it there for now. I need to take all of this freshly learned information about how ridiculous tailoring is and put it into something a little bit more constructive for myself to remember and you to learn from eventually. Thank you for joining today. we will. It's only Monday, so we got plenty to do this week. We got the flipping pre-patch event popping off on Wednesday, which is going to be good fun. We'll see how juicy that is for leveling some sort of like, some stray level 70s, get them to 80, finish things off. Maybe some gearing. I think the event drops champion gear, doesn't it? So, not that there's really that much importance to gear up, but we'll have a poke around, we'll have a play with that. And of course, we will hope and pray that the decor sales continue to be as spicy as they have been. Flipping 2.4 million gold in decor sales is actually busted. Totally cracked. I'd love to see that every day, but I guess we won't get that every day. We'll see. But thank you for joining. Come say hi on the Discord if you're not there already. I'm going to raid into the 24/7 channel. For those that have seen it already, you'll know what the crack is with it. For those who maybe haven't, I've got a separate Twitch channel where it just plays some of my VODs. You can lurk in the channel. There's a bit of a giveaway over there. You can gain some Manthy coin and trade them in for a bit of a giveaway over there if you wish, if that's your jam. Get yourself some entries into the giveaway. But yes, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Throw you all over that way. What we doing at the moment? Aha, this is one of the first streams from the year. Am I wearing the same hoodie in that? No, I am wearing different clothes in that one. Good. Right, boys and girls, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all next time. Peace.